Hi folks, great to see you again. Now, on this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, something I have never done before. Over the past few weeks, I have received from you guys literally hundreds and hundreds of comments, primarily across two different videos. Now, one video was about the reality of living in Spain, and that was pretty much a down video. And then there's another video which is about asking the question whether life on the Costa del Sol is actually paradise in winter, and that was more of an up video. So we have lots of conflicting, balancing comments from you, and I thought I would just go through some of those comments today with you. Okay, some people agreed with me, other people disagreed with me very strongly. Some people thought I was too negative, and other people thought I hadn't gone far enough. This is not about convincing anybody to move to Spain, and nor is it about putting anybody off moving to Spain either. What it is about is just helping you understand if making a move here is the right thing for you. So I want to first of all say a massive thank you to everybody who has sent comments in. I read every single one, and some of them are very informative indeed, and I actually do make notes now and again for future videos, so I really do appreciate them all. So keep sending them, please. Now, last night about 10 p.m. I did receive a comment from somebody which actually made me laugh, really laugh, and it doesn't really fit in with this video, but nonetheless I thought we would just start with it.
The CDS at this time of year, the Spanish are in padded jackets. The British are in t-shirts and shorts. The Scandinavians are in the sea.
There you go. I hope you found that as entertaining as I did last night. It's all downhill from now on. Now, this first little section, I am calling this visiting versus living and the great expectation gap. Now, one of the strongest themes in the comments was about actually living here as opposed to coming and visiting. And the first comment we have is from Gaston, who I think sums this up rather well. Now, I think Gaston is actually a French name. Anyway, this is what Gaston has to say.
I retired to Costa del Sol and came back after a year. The weather did not make up for what I missed. I was just bored and not interested in propping up a bar. I agreed rent for 6 months before buying anything. We already had a villa there for years, but only visited a few times a year, so we thought we were used to the life. But living there was completely different.
Now I do think Gaston's last line there is the key one. Living somewhere is not the same as holidaying. Now, day-to-day life still involves routines. You've got administration and finding a purpose, but just in a different setting. So for some people, that slower pace is exactly what they want, but for others, well, it can feel a little bit imitating. Neither is wrong, neither is right, but it's a reality that people do really need to know. Now, this next section is called It's Amazing versus It's Boring. And our first comment here comes from, I think it's Aid.
It's an amazing place to live. It's peaceful, clean and accommodating to foreigners from all over the world as long as your intentions are good. Spanish are respectful, but can also stand up for themselves. I think it's a lot cheaper. Housing, food, excursions, amenities and eating out are much cheaper.
Okay, and now we have a comment from Lady Chatelaine. I love that username.
The grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence.
Thanks for that, Lady Chatelaine. Now, obviously, both things can't be true, not at the same time anyway. And whether you find life here peaceful or boring can depend hugely on quite a number of things, such as your age, your health, your social circle, and what you need to be fulfilled. And this is why I always say the Costa del Sol isn't for everyone. Winter housing shock. And one comment really stood out for me because it's something people rarely seem to talk about. And this is from Shuggy. Now, I think Shuggy is a nickname, a Scottish nickname for somebody called Hugh. So I think this is from Hugh. This is Hugh's comment.
My mistake in taking a winter break via our friend's villa in Costa Blanca was the cold in the villa. Open plan design and freezing, no heating system except a blow heater. Waste of time. Never felt as cold as that in my 67 years. Must be a collective thing, as the local cafe/bar was full of expats, heating themselves.
Thanks for that comment, Hugh. Very much appreciated. Very informative. Thank you. Now, this is something that does actually catch out a lot of people. Spanish homes are designed for heat and not the cold. Open plan layouts, tiled floors, and minimal insulation mean that even mild winter temperatures can feel very cold indoors. And if you come from the UK, where homes are built to retain the heat, this can be quite a shock. And this is why Hugh has seen expats in cafes trying to get warm. They're not there to socialise, just to try and get a bit of heat. Now, Spain is definitely not freezing, but the housing quality and design matter far more here than many people seem to think. New homes in Spain now must have insulation and meet energy efficiency standards, becoming stricter with upcoming regulations requiring minimum energy ratings. And I shall be covering these new regulations in an upcoming video. Now, the next section is the cost of living and why people disagree. Another big source of disagreement was indeed cost. Some say Spain is far cheaper, others say it's barely cheaper at all. For example, this is what John had to say.
I stay in Benidorm for about 3 months of the year, and unlike yourself, I think food prices in supermarkets are more expensive than the UK. Eggs, milk, butter, tea, coffee, meat, fish, fruit, and many other things are dearer. Stuff like toothpaste and tea bags we bring over with us. We also bring over shampoo and cosmetics also.
While Peter said this.
Keep away from the tourist spots, and it is cheaper being here for 12 years, and it's cheaper than UK council tax, 440 euros a year. Food cheaper than UK diesel cheaper than UK. Just keep away from tourist areas, simple.
Now, both experiences are valid. Where you shop, where you live, and how you live makes a massive difference. Spain is no longer cheap Spain, but it can still be cheaper if you live like a local and avoid tourist pricing. Language and integration. A lot of comments focused on language. Some were very polite, others less so. Now, for example, Joy wrote this.
You must speak the language of any country you go to live in.
And Miss Otto Voice added,
The Costa del Sol is not Spain. It is a British enclave. There, English is spoken, and it's one Brit pub after another in areas like Fuengirola, Mijas Costa, etc. The very same people who complain in the UK about foreigners not integrating nor learning the language is exactly what they do here in Spain. Or anywhere else. I live here 28 years in the Castellon province on the Med Sea, and I am of course fluent in Spanish as well as 2 other languages. In my village, one hears predominantly Spanish, mixed languages in the cafes and street, and that is nice. I love the homogenous feeling. And it is a rare Brit that even bothers to learn a bit of the language and connect a bit with the locals. Most still can't even properly order their food. I'm 76 and just started learning French. Good for the brain. Learning a language isn't about perfection, it is about wanting to communicate. Greetings from a Swiss.
Now, I do agree with the principle of this. You don't need perfect Spanish, but the key is to make an effort. So if you do make an effort, then integration is easier, life is easier, relationships are better when you try. Spain doesn't need to adapt to us, we need to adapt to Spain. Visas, permission, and reality post-Brexit. Another very practical concern came up in the winter video comments. And El Paso said this.
I'd love to move there, but sadly, it's very expensive to move to Spain now, and almost impossible to get a work permit unless you have a degree and are in excellent good health. I've also heard there could be age restrictions. In Austria, the maximum age for citizenship is 45 for non-EU citizens, and fear other European countries could become the same.
And this, of course, is a very important point, because moving to Spain now is not what it was 10 or 20 years ago. or even 5 years ago for that matter, you now have visa requirements, financial thresholds, healthcare requirements, but it is doable, but it does require planning. Now, I am going to be covering the visa options available in an upcoming video, so look out for that. And in addition to that, I'm also going to be doing a dedicated video on healthcare. I have received so many comments about healthcare. It seems to be perhaps people's number one concern about moving to Spain. Certainly with elderly people, but generally I've had so many comments. Spain works very well when you're healthy, but you don't have the same safety net as you have with the NHS. However, that said, the healthcare system here is actually considered to be excellent. So do look out for that all-important video. Summer heat and seasonal escape. Several people asked about the summer, and Dallas asked this.
Where do you spend the summers? Is it too hot there?
And Davis also commented,
What do you do in summer? Go back to England. Summer in this part of Spain is unbearable.
So to answer your question there, what do I do in the summer? Well, the summer just gone. I did actually go to France just for a few days. But the heat, I didn't find it too overwhelming. It is hot. You can't escape the fact it is hot. And you have to adapt your day. You have to sort of take it easy during the day. And then in the evenings, you can sort of do more things. But it's not as hot here as it is in places like Madrid and Sevilla inland. And I do know a few people that do actually come here from Madrid and Sevilla in the summer to escape the hot city inland heat. You've got much more freshness here. You've got the sea breeze, etc. So yes, it's hot, but in my mind, for me, not everybody's the same, but for me, it is manageable. But nonetheless, it is still the perfect time to get away and go to places like France. And also, I would love to go to Cornwall again. And then we had this comment also from FFS. No idea what that stands for.
Andaluzers tend to visit northern Spain in the summer. Asturias, Galicia, País Vasco.
Well, thanks for that comment, and I think that also tells you a lot. Right, we've come to the last section, and I've called this one the 90-day confusion, because I get so many comments about the 90-day rule. And Gigi asked this.
I thought you had 90 days, and that's your lot. UK misery lasts 6 months at least.
Thanks for that, Gigi. And the answer is, if you have a British passport, then you are restricted to 90 days, unless, like me, I am here as a resident, albeit a tax resident, and I have a visa which has enabled me to do that. So I need a visa to be able to stay, and that's the answer. Okay, so is the Costa del Sol paradise? Well, for some people it certainly is, but for others definitely not. Spain offers sunshine, lifestyle and beauty, but it also comes with bureaucracy, adjustment and trade-offs. My goal isn't to sell you a dream or scare you away. It's to help you arrive informed or decide not to come at all. So if you're thinking seriously about Spain, take your time. Rent first, ask questions, and most of all, be honest with yourself about what you need. So that's it. Thanks to everyone who commented, and keep them coming. I love them. They're fun to read, they're informative, they're helpful to me and to everybody else who reads the comments. Keep them coming. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.